Hello, welcome to another week in our garden. We've had some gloriously hot weather all week, absolutely beautiful. Now remember, don't be out in the sun too much in the garden, wait till either evenings or do some in the early mornings. Now today we're going to do a little bit of harvesting, no real work today because it's far too hot. We'll harvest some rhubarb. I'll show you the cauliflowers are doing well. I'll just show you those and then we'll put a cover over those, keep a bit of this sun off. Kohlrabi can be lifted, a few broad beans. We'll get up there and harvest as we go. But I'm going to harvest some rhubarb. Now if you're going to do rhubarb, it's best really done first thing in the morning while it's still turrid after being in a cool night. Whatever you do, don't harvest it very late in the hot afternoon or anything like that, because it will be so limp, shall we say, and it doesn't pull very well. Okay, so I'll get this done then I'll show you. This is the second lot we've picked. Since we last picked it, it was flooded and it's recovered very well. So I'm just going to pick a few of the nice red stems, just to fill half a trug, say, and then leave it to rest a little bit then. But it's still cool, we're alright, it's nice and cool. There you go, that'll do nicely. Yes, it's nice. I'll pick a few and then I'll show you when they're finished, okay? Now we've picked a little bit of rhubarb there. It looks beautiful when it gets red. It actually gets sweeter as it gets red, so that'll be very nice. Now I always pick till about the second week in July, and then after that I leave the root to rest. So we'll probably get at least 2 more picks out of it, and then we'll let it rest for the rest of the year. Okay. Now just as we go past the brassica tunnels, there's a nice cabbage there that I'm going to take. They really are coming on well, these cabbages. Say it's been in this heat. Usually the cabbages don't like the hot weather, but they're doing very well. So that one's ready, so we'll have him out. Here we are, look, nice cabbage. That'll do nicely. Now this are the salad crops that I popped in when I took the Romanesco out. I just thought I'll show you how they're progressing. Now they do look a bit on the dry side, but the way I look at it now, that I'll give them a really good watering and then leave them 2 or 3 days. So these will be probably watered tomorrow, so even though the soil looks dry, there's plenty of moisture underneath. Kohlrabi is standing well. That's the lettuce little gem, that's doing fine. A little bit of crack in the ground, but that's okay, it's damp underneath. A few radish there that we put in, they're doing fine, but in about another week, 10 days we'll be pulling those. And then there's a few spring onions there, they're doing well, picked up nicely. Now the other thing I wanted to show you in this tunnel is right at the other end, that the cauliflowers are just beginning to start hearting, as you like, and so I'll show you those, and we'll put a fleece on them just to keep this bright sunshine off them. There was a nice cauliflower hearting up beautifully there. Now you can turn the leaves over and put a piece of string on, or elastic band or something like that. I do mine a little bit different in the tunnels. I'll show you how I do it. Cauliflower that's really is hearting up well. We don't want to get too much sunshine on them now because it'll colour them, so we'll put a fleece over it. I'll show you what to do. I just pop it on and just pop it over the strings at the side. And being as quick as I can, because I know there are butterflies about. Well, that's the fleece just draped across those two cauliflowers. You just keep the hot sun from burning it, and it saves me going inside too much and tying the leaves up. I've had a look down them best I can, and they're not starting to put the hearts on yet, so we'll leave these for a bit, keep them well irrigated. Same every 2 or 3 days, give them a good water and then leave them. The fleece will do its job, and I can also water under the fleece as well, so that'll do a good job on that. Now we're going to harvest a couple of kohlrabi. Now I know I'm on my hands and knees picking these, but I just do not want to let any pests in at all, especially the butterflies, because they'll totally annihilate the crop, and the whitefly will even be very bad this year. There are, so that's the kohlrabi. I've cut the root off, and as you can see, the tunnels are keeping them lovely and clean. That's not bad at all. I was going to actually plant some more, and I left the young plants out overnight, and when I came back the pigeons had ate them all. The broad beans, they've done about average this year. We've had a lot of black fly on them, and I keep taking the tops off, but there's enough ready now, so we're just going to take a handful with us, and then we'll come down perhaps later in the week, and we'll pick the lot and get them blanched and frozen. I'll just take the big ones for now. Look, just don't want a lot. Remember, it's when you harvest them, try and twist them off. They're terribly hard to take off. Better off with a knife, I think. Well, I've used the knife, it's easier. Yeah, so I'll just take a few of these big ones off, and then I'll come back to you. Take a bit of time. There you are, just a handful of our broad beans. Don't need an awful lot just yet, but there's enough there just for what we want. Right, we've come into the pea and bean net, just so that the peas are coming along nicely now. They're just beginning to swell. You can't actually feel any peas in there yet, but it's still plenty early. They're swelling up nicely. We'll just keep an eye on these, because on this particular one they should all come together so we can harvest the lot. I'm quite looking forward to harvesting these. They've grown amazingly well. They're even trying to break out. Very good crop. Now I noticed there was a courgette ready, so we'll pick those as well. That's courgette zucchini. There's a nice courgette there, called Patio Star, this one. We'll see how we get on with it. Just a little cut off, and have a look. Just take the flower off. That's nice. A little bit, that was me, I think. That's nice. There's one more this side. A little bit bigger, this one. Don't want to get any bigger than that if I can help it. Same variety. I'll just take him out. There you go. There's a couple of nice courgettes, or zucchinis if you like to call them zucchinis. Both called Patio Star, and both watered by the bottle system, where we just pour the water in and let it go in. I was just looking at the courgettes and pumpkins. The circles are beginning now. As you can see, there's one there trying to get out. Another one here is trying to jump over the net, look. So I'll have to take those down and tuck them in. I'll do that later on when I come down. At the moment I'm just going to cut one of these red lettuces. We've got a nice line of little gems here, but they're not quite ready yet. But these big red ones are, so we'll start taking, we'll have this one here that's pushing into those, and it's pushed over the onion line as well. I should pull it out and then cut it. There are, look. It's a lovely red lettuce, that is. Beautiful. Right, we've popped up to the shed with a little bit of a harvest. We're under the nice grapevine. It's lovely and cool under here. Now we've got the nice red lettuce, a couple of kohlrabi, a couple of courgettes, some nice rhubarb there, a good solid cabbage, and a few broad beans, and some very noisy chickens today. There are, that's a little walk up the garden harvest. Tomorrow we'll get a bit of soft fruit. Hello there, good morning. It's another wonderful morning, sun shining, birds are singing, and it's a little bit too warm on the soil to really do any gardening. So we're harvesting some of the berries today. We're in the fruit cage. I see we've got some nice white currants, red currants, a few strawberries. We've had quite a few of the strawberries already. They're just not so many as we normally have, but because of the flood, but very, very good crop. And a few raspberries behind me to harvest as well. So we'll get on with harvest. Right, so we'll start with a few of the red currants. They're all about ready. If you leave them too long in this heat, they'll go over quite quickly. These are just nice for taking. We'll take this, it's just a case of nipping them off, look. Try not to rip them too much because you damage the branch for next year. And just yeah, that's a start. There's a few that's still a little bit at the ends, look, but they're fine. They'll mix in. And just put those in the colander. So I'll pick some and then come back to you when I've got a few done. Right, I'll just pick this other little bush we got, and then it should fill the bowl up nicely. There you are, it's a nice little basket of red currants. We'll nip up now to where the white currant bush is, and we'll pick some white currants to go with them. Here's the white currants. They're actually pink, but they're called white currants. They look like little pearls, they're so beautiful. If we can lift another branch to show you, there's quite a few on them, look. Loads and loads and loads, look at those. Beautiful berries, and you know, they taste as good as they look, white currants. I do like white currants. Right, so I'll get these picked and I'll come back to you. I think this little basket will be full time we're done. Another one there, look. Just nip them off same as before. Try not to rip them, else you're taking the bud as well for next year's crop. There you are, look, there's a nice basket of white currants. That's just one bush, so they're doing rather well. The red gooseberries aren't quite ready yet. They are falling, but they're not ready. I'll just taste one. We'll have the taste test with the red gooseberries. About another 2 or 3 days, I think. I don't know if you can hear the noise behind me, but Mr. Dakin, the farmer, is baling his hay. So the banging you can hear behind is the baler compacting the hay and pushing them out the back of the baler. Okay. Now, while we're in here, we're just going to pick over the strawberries. They're not bad. They're still coming. I'm getting 1 or 2 misshapen ones, but believe me, a misshapen one tastes as good as a perfect one. Okay, so that's the strawberries picked. Got a good basket full. There'll be maybe 2 more small picks left in them yet, but I did notice last week there was still some flowers on them, so there might be a few more to come. Here you can see the black currants are coming through nicely. We'll harvest those next week with the gooseberries, I think. There's a few raspberries still to pick, so we'll pick those next. And I've lost my hat to the camera person now, but it is hot. Remember not to pull them too much. They should come away in your hand. If they don't come away, leave them for a little longer. These few bushes that we had are done very, very well. As soon as the fruit's finished, we'll go in and we'll cut this year's canes off and get next year's canes growing up and give them some real good mulch to keep them going. There are just a few raspberries there. We're not doing bad for raspberries this early. Just a few of the loganberries. It's only first year in that, but we want to see what they taste like, so we'll take those with us as well. It's a new plant, so we'll see what they're like. Now that'll be it for the harvesting. I just want to nip to the shed and show you what I've been up to seed wise when we had the flood. Now, as we came past the Morello cherry, we noticed there was quite a few reddies. Picked a few off, because if we don't, if they're too far gone, they will shrizzle up and drop anyway. What's left we'll leave on. I put the mesh back on because the birds aren't far away. So, and we'll come back to this next week and take the main crop. I think they're just not quite enough ready. We've got a few for boiling, so we'll have these. Some lovely white currants, some red currants, loads of strawberries, some nice raspberries, and a few cherries as well. It can't be bad, can it? That was a nice harvest, but by goodness me, it was hot work picking them. Now, if you can remember, we had the flood. I don't want to think about that no more, but when the garden was underwater, obviously the gardener in me clicked into gear and I started setting seed in case we lost all the crops. Well, we didn't lose the crops, but the seeds all germinated. So in this collection I have lettuce, cabbage, cauliflowers, all different varieties that were just in case. Now as we harvest what we've got in the garden, what we shall do is she'll pop some of these back in now. There's cauliflowers and all sorts in there. Now most of them are a cool season, a winter crop, but I've potted them into these liners. They're only 9cm liners, so they will hold a little longer in this tray. I also put a cover over them with a fleece just to keep the bright sunshine off them. It is a bit early for your winter crops, but start getting the seed now. What I should do is try and hold these as long as possible, and as a bit of space comes in as we harvest the cabbage, etc., I'll replenish the ground and then we'll put these in a little bit early, but we'll still set with you the autumn crops as normal. This would be like a bonus, if you like. But you never know, if we'd have lost it, we'd have had something. Okay, before I finish, I'd just like to wish all the Canadians happy 1st of July, and all you American guys and ladies, happy 4th of July. Do have a great time and good parties. And me, I'll just carry on in the sunshine. So that'll be about it for this week. Many thanks for subscribing, we do appreciate it, and thank you for watching. Hope it's not been too long, and we'll see you next week, but hopefully we might get some rain. Bye now.